please welcome to the stage, Nicky Case.
So here's a story. I was born in Singapore. It's this Southeast Asian island, it's somewhere, and bubblegum is illegal there for some reason. So when I was 5, I had this dream. I would make the life choice and go down the path of becoming a bubblegum dealer in the black market. I would become this Willy Wonka, Walter White-esque figure. I would run this operation all around the city. And when the feds would finally catch me, my final words would be, well, I guess I got myself into a sticky situation. That did not happen. So I was born in Singapore, and then my family and I, when I was pretty young, we moved to Vancouver, Canada. And I wanted, woo, Vancouver! It sure is rainy. And I wanted to make my parents proud, you know, and being Asian parents, I was thinking, should I be a doctor or a lawyer? No, I decided at the age of 10, I was going to be a doctor and a lawyer. I would practice all the medicine and then sue myself for malpractice. It's a profitable revenue stream loop thing. Yeah, it'll be great. That did not happen. So here's the story, and it's the real story this time, up to now. I was born in Singapore, moved to Canada, and I did not make my parents proud. I came out as queer to them, and I'll be talking more about this later, and you know, kind of crappy family dynamic for a while, so I had to move out. And I moved from Singapore to Canada, and now to America. America. Woo. And it was good. Like, I moved to the Bay Area, so very supportive people there. And I was doing independent creative work. But so now I had to think about my next dream since, you know, Willy White isn't going to work out. Willy White. So my life goal at the beginning of 2014 was to become a hit independent game developer. I'd make this magnum opus. I'd make the next super meat craft. It would be great. It'd be great. Yeah, not as cool as a bubblegum kingpin, but hey, I'll take it. But, you know, is anyone here an independent game developer? You know it's pretty stressful. And also, not just the present stress, but also anxiety about the future. Because if life is a whole infinite branching path where in one I can be a game developer and in one I'm a doctor and a lawyer, then if I just make one wrong choice, then everything falls apart. I'm off the path forever. But so there's the present anxiety, future anxiety, and also the past anxiety, because what if I've already made that mistake? What if I shouldn't have had come out and, you know, still stayed in school? What if it was already too late for me? What if I was, you know, already broken? So that's chaos. Life is a chaotic system, and I'm going to contribute to the long, wonderful legacy of butchering science for the sake of some things, I guess. So chaos theory, a chaotic system is defined as a system where small changes in input can result in large changes in output, sensitivity to initial conditions. You know, the butterfly effect. A butterfly flapping its wings can cause velociraptors to escape from their pen. So today I'm going to butcher chaos theory to ask the question I was asking myself at the start of 2014. How can I get rid of life's chaos? Yeah. First, let me get some water because I am middle of 2014. I've been working on this magnum opus for a year. It was like some multi-year long game dev project that I was just working on by myself. And, well, I mean, I thought I was halfway through it, and you know, who knows. And I already had like a crowdfunding campaign. I had like pushed out like an hour-long demo, got lots of press, and I was like so hyper-focused for that entire year. Well, except for like one little small side project, which I'll talk about. It was this interactive explainer, which taught you the code and math behind how to make the lighting effect that was in my game. Spoopy. And yeah, it was a little small side project I made just in 2 days, and then I just forgot about it and went straight back to work. But later on, halfway in the year, June 2014, I just got this itch to make another, small side project. And there was this small game jam that was going on for 3 weeks to make. The game jam was about making narrative-based games, and since it was only 3 weeks, I decided to go ahead and make Coming Out Simulator 2014. The title is a horribly bad inside joke about Surgeon Simulator and Goat Simulator. Did not age well. Anyway, so yeah, it's an interactive story about, it's a semi-fictionalized account of my coming out as bisexual to my Asian parents, which I have alluded to before, that all of the shit hit all of the fans. Yeah, it was a half-true story about half-truths. And so my goal with this was to try to convey the anxiety of coming out to the player person. The anxiety, the nerve-wracking decisions you'd have to make that would have huge consequences. And to give that player that feeling, here's what I did. Yeah, pretty standard branching tree of life stories. But game designers would know that this solution does not scale, because if you add just like one more choice at the end, number of outcomes doubles, things grow exponentially, everything goes to crap, crunch time, everyone's sad. It's, basically typical game dev life. But I only had 3 weeks, so I didn't want to make all that exponentially growing story tree, so here's what I did. In addition to all those big choices in between the story, there were lots of these little small in-between choices, and they would unpredictably affect and subtly flavor the later parts of the story. And the important thing is that the player wouldn't be able to tell in advance which ones were the big one, which ones were the small one. And so that's where the anxiety comes in. That you can't tell which are going to be the big or small things, like something you thought was small is going to have a huge, big, unpredictable effect. Anything you say or do could bite you later on. That's chaos, if I haven't hammered that down enough yet. So I published that, and it did really well. It got 500,000 plays, and it was nominated this year for Best Narrative at the Independent Games Festival. Oh, thanks. But above all that popularity stuff, it was really awesome to see that it was affecting and helping real people. Just all these hundreds of emotional fan mail from queer teens around the world. I still remember many of them specifically. Like, my game really helped them, or it was closure for them. That was really powerful. And just like in Coming Out Simulator, or the whole chaotic tying in thing, that small choice to make that small game for a small game jam affected my life personally in a really huge way. Because prior to making Coming Out Simulator, I'd only known, the story that actually happened to me. But in making that interactive version with all the different possible outcomes, I had to think about and write about every single thing that could have happened but didn't. And every ending had its own pros and cons. Like, if I didn't come out, I would have had a better relationship with my family, and I would have had a better relationship with my brother. But at the same time, I wouldn't have been really honest to myself, and also would have had the drive to have made my own life otherwise. I can't make that decision. That's not better or worse. It's just different. And seeing all these different possibilities was kind of therapeutic. And as a teaser for the end of this talk, there's going to be another, I'll give you extra ending of what happened after a coming out simulator with my family. Teaser. So, but no time to think about that because another unexpected change was about to happen. From the small choice I made earlier, remember that interactive explainer I just talked about a few minutes ago? Remember that? Remember a few minutes ago? Those were good times. So, yay, chaos. Okay, let me skip back. All right. Remember the interactive explainer I just made? So that got on the front page of Imgur, Reddit, and Hacker News simultaneously, and so that got the attention of Rhett Victor, a famous interaction designer that I really look up to. Therefore, thank you. Therefore, he invited me to some workshop on education where I met Vihart, another popular educational YouTuber I also look up to. Therefore, we talked a little bit, and she wanted to collaborate with me on a project. Therefore, we made this. I guess there's one more slide. We made this. Parable of the Polygons. So this actually combines two threads from my life story so far. One of interactive explainers, and the second about talking about bias. Coming out simulator was, about that. Well, it was about many things, but half of that was that. So in Parallel to Polygons, it's an interactive explainer about how individual biases can become collective biases. And so the player, reader, I'm not sure, it's like a half blog post, half thing. So the audience gets to learn about this by running little simulations, dragging little cute shapes around. All these little shapes are so cute and slightly shapist against one another, but only slightly. So each shape here is unhappy if less than a third of the neighbors are like them. So this one's, got all triangle neighbors, so it's pretty unhappy. This one, has only 2 out of 7 of its neighbors. They're like it, so it's unhappy. So this means less than a third, so each shape would be okay being in the minority. But small biases over time accumulate into larger biases. And so that's something we really wanted to teach that even though today, very few people are explicitly sexist or racist, and yet still the institutions and systems can still be greatly racist and or sexist. So and that's kind of a recurring theme in chaos theory, small things becoming big, if you haven't noticed me hammering that over and over again. So that really took off. Parallel Polygons got 3 million plays. It was written up on Wired, The Atlantic, and Washington Post, and I guess it got me invited here, so that's also a thing. And now this interactive explainer thing was becoming a whole separate thread of my life. And so I kept making more, and here's a couple that I'm currently working on, so more teasers. So what I'm working on is an interactive explainer about privacy and social media, and a couple speakers yesterday were talking about the systems and structures behind online harassment. So I wanted to make an interactive explainer about that, because who'd have thought that social media designed to give people exposure would leave people exposed? Like, who'd have thought? And the other thing that I'm working on, that I hope to publish next week, but I'm independent, so never trust me when I say it's coming out next week. Is about neurons, and specifically neurons and anxiety, and showing the 2 simple rules of how neurons learn and unlearn. It's called Hebbian and anti-Hebbian learning, if anyone cares. And also talking about exposure therapy, conditioning, and cognitive behavior therapy, and hopefully this letting people see that there's really a system in their brain will make them feel less, I guess, helpless to their own brains, and hopefully it can help some people's. So I was kept on researching all these systems and everything, and as a slight tangent, I think thinking in systems is, one, not just a better way of understanding the world, but it kind of forces you to, it's an empathetic exercise to like see specifically how even good individuals can create and be part of bad systems. Anyway, so, but related to systems thinking is complexity theory and chaos theory. And so it turns out not only are there systems where order arises out of chaos, like parallel polygons, everyone's equally mixed, and then a small bias turns everything to crap. There are systems that thrive on chaos, like evolution. It's about random mutation and non-random selection. If you take away the random mutation, everything goes extinct. So it's really amazing to think about that we are all here. All life on Earth exists because of properly harnessed chaos. But now, working on that whole interactive explainer thing was like working really well up until like right now. But this left me with a problem. That previous magnum opus dream of making super meets fez craft boy would be, I don't know, I just couldn't, well, at least I couldn't work on that one project anymore that had been taken like a year and a half at this point. So I felt like really bad because like, once I really sunk a year and a half into it. I had fans, I had people who backed me on the crowdfunding campaign. And I'd be so disappointed if I just killed it. So I just killed it. So, and so I refunded everyone, and gave them a long explanation. Oh, thanks. I failed. Yay. I have an incentive for you to clap longer because I can actually drink. So I refunded everyone, gave them a long explanation of why I had to go, giving them a little bit of behind the scenes of game design thinking and something about interactive explainers. And surprisingly, they were all really supportive. They were also excited to see my new thread that I was exploring, interactive explainers. So this was a huge, pleasant surprise. Yeah, I had no idea that killing your dreams would be so fun. But with that old dream dead, what next big thing would I chase? Like, I don't know, the Willy Wonka, Walter White thing was still pretty appealing at the time. And I could chase the whole interactive education dream, whatever that would look like, but I'd be in the exact same point as I was before. Present, future, and past anxiety. And I know life's chaos would knock me off the path or make me find a better path. And I had already invested all that, and then I have to quit again and it'd be sad. So I was kind of floating for a while. I wasn't unproductive and I wasn't, I was anxious, but I was really uneasy with just not having a goal in life. But about last month, after I learned about chaos theory on Wikipedia, and so now I'm an expert, all the pieces just started coming together, and it started getting me to think deeper and more carefully about life's chaos. So revisiting that question, how can I get rid of life's chaos? And right now, I think the answer is Dawn''T. Instead, we should ask how can we not avoid chaos, but adapt to chaos. And so, first, adapting to future chaos. Because if you just have like one specific dream that's like really far out, your magnum opus, you get tunnel vision and you don't see the other opportunities that are available to you, some of which you might like even more. So let go of your defined life path. Kill your dream, actually serial kill your dreams. Because while your dreams might look appealing from very far away, I assure you that up close, it's really not the case. This is my wallpaper now. Anyway. And then there's present chaos. So if chaos theory tells us that it's really hard to predict the future, maybe it's not worth it to predict the future, and instead we should explore the present. Get a feel for all those other life paths. Make some room for chaos. Make a side project once in a while, learn new things, meet new people, prepare a talk at 2 a.m. this morning. yet. And don't get too hung up on sticking to the path. So experiment, improvise, improvise. Because you never know when these threads of your life will all come back to an amazing and unexpected, beautiful outcome. And lastly, there's adapting to past chaos. And I promised you that extra ending with my family after coming out simulator. So let me just take 5 seconds and just tease you with that, my drink. The bottle's empty now. So it actually happened a couple months ago, and it actually happened here. Well, not here, but Portland. So yeah, my family moved up to Vancouver, Canada, and they were just, I guess, passing through or something. And for context, we had not been in contact for a year. And I don't know why, I still don't know why, but I was in an emotionally good enough place at the time to reach out to them, and we hung out. It wasn't, a tearful reunion or anything, but I think it was good, like closure. And it was kind of a bittersweet closure. So they saw that I had adapted, and it was also good for me to see that they and my brother had adapted as well, because when I left, it was kind of a wake-up call for them to be more accepting of each other in that family. They were a better family after I left than they were when I was there. That's good. Oh yeah, as for what this is, we hung out at the Portland Art Museum, that's somewhere wherever West is. And they were showing off, ancient Asian art, including pottery. And so there's something really awesome that I learned about Japanese pottery. This is called kintsugi. It is the Japanese art of mending stuff you fucked up and broke. So, with a normal tea bowl, normally you just throw away the, after it breaks, you throw it away. But not with kintsugi. You mend it, but you don't hide the scar. It's illuminated with gold. At the same time, its damage does not define it. It's still a tea bowl. It does not define it, but it is a part of it. So if chaos strikes in your past and things fall apart, know that broken pieces can be put back together, probably not in the same way, and you won't be the same afterwards, but that's okay. It's only a part of you, but it does not define you. Damage does not define you. And there were many awesome talks earlier in XOXO about people who have experienced trauma and how they moved forward and built something beautiful out of those broken pieces. I just want to quickly state that I'm not romanticizing trauma. I'm not like, to be a true artist, you have to suffer for your art. Because no. But putting back the pieces, what I am saying is that you can put the pieces back together, that you can adapt to chaos. Because on this infinitely branching tree of life, there's no way to go back, but there's every way to go forward. Thank you.